Friends, welcome back to Summer Hebrew. I'm Joshua Maria Garcia. This is lesson 3, and we have a lot to cover, so I'm going to move pretty quickly today. I recorded this once with a bunch of really interesting historical and comparative linguistics details, and then realized that the video was 40 minutes long. My other videos are 20 minutes max. So I want to keep this lesson really tight and compact, but this is a good opportunity to say that you should come to my classes. I teach live online classes and in-person classes in Biblical Hebrew and reading the Bible. And so we talk about all sorts of things like that in those classes, but I just want to get through the skills today because there's a lot to cover. Here's the letters we've learned so far. In addition to the ones we're learning today, it looks like a lot, but trust me, have confidence, and you'll be fine. Here's the letters we've learned so far. Aleph, silent. Bet, b or v. Gimel, g. Dalet, d. Hey, h, silent at the end of the word. Vav, v. It can also be used to make the vowel sound O with a dot on top and U with a dot in the middle. Zayin, z. Chet, ch. I hope you've been practicing. You can practice while you're brushing your teeth. Tet, t. Nun, n, and nun sofit, which means nun at the end, nun that comes at the end of a word. Our vowels so far. Tserei. I've been pronouncing this tserei in the lessons, I realize. Sometimes you'll hear my Ashkenazi sub-ethnicity sort of break through my pronunciation, but technically speaking, this should be tserei, and it makes an A sound. Chataf patach, A. Cholem, O. Kamatz, A. Patach, A. Segol, E. Shva, in this case silent. Really something that is important to know when you're learning Hebrew or really any Semitic language is that what different things are called is conventional, meaning that they are conventions that we choose to follow or not. And in different places and different teachers, they'll call vowels, sometimes even letters, different things. So just something to be aware of. Remembering the 3 different forms of vav, we have vav making a v sound. This is vav as a consonant. Vav making an O sound, cholem vav, O, acting as a vowel. Still a consonant though, technically. And vav acting as an U vowel, shuruk, or shuruk, technically. But if you're an English speaker and you can say shuruk, I'll be very impressed. Okay? Zeh, this. Zahav, gold. Az, so. Ozen, ear. And you'll remember from last time, I keep forgetting to take this out, that I've added in a vav out of habit. Chen, grace. Chag, festival. Ach, brother. Zevach, sacrifice. Tov, good. Chet, sin. Bezeh, with this or in this. Hazahav, the gold. Hazahav, keep that final stress. Ba negev, initial stress on the stem word. So even though this is a segulate noun, it's not banegev, it's ba negev. The stress stays right here, in the Negev or in the south. Okay, this is our first new consonant, and I've included the lines of writing to show you that yod, this new consonant yod, really sits up here, up high. And yod makes a y sound. It can also participate in vowels. Just like the English y makes a y sound, but it can participate in vowels where we don't hear its consonant sound. Let's practice the consonant yod. Ya, 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 yo, ye, ye, y. So we could say that just as English has vowels A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, Hebrew has vowel sounds A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y participates in making one of those sounds. Let's learn some yod words. Yad. Yad is the Hebrew word for hand. Yad. Oh, sorry. Also can be arm. In the Bible, it can be hand and arm. Yod. That's the name of the letter yod spelled out. That's kind of cool, right? It also probably means hand or arm in Phoenician. Yod. And yud. This is what you'll often hear me call this letter, yud, and lots of American Jewish people call it yud. Ashkenazi people call it yud, and that's how you say it in Yiddish. And that's why some of my names for letters and vowels sound funny, because that's how you say them in Yiddish or in Ashkenazi Hebrew. And so bad habits when I'm teaching standard pronunciation, but you'll sometimes hear me slip and call it yud. So I wanted to show you the 3 different words for yod, really. Yad, yod, yud. Yad, which is hand. Yod, which is Phoenician hand, but Hebrew, the letter yod. And yud, the Yiddish letter yud. All right, another letter for us today. Lines of writing, again, just to be totally clear, this one goes above the lines of writing, and this is lamed. Lamed. And lamed looks kind of like an L in the top, so that's helpful. Lamed. One of my favorite, I think it's my favorite letter, actually. Of course it is. She's the dramatic one. Lamed and yod, sitting in a different way from how we're used to with the other letters. Le, l, lo, la, le, la. Try not to think about the vowel symbols too much. Just listen and look. Le, l, lo, la, le, la. Eventually, your eyes will just start to glaze over and you will read those vowel symbols unconsciously. Seriously, it does happen after a little while. Here's some lamed words. First one is lo. Silent aleph at the end. Lo means no. Lev, very important word. Lev means heart. Levav also means heart. It's usually used in poetry, though. Levav, it's a more ancient form of the word for heart. And remembering, of course, that in the Bible, when the Bible says heart, when it says lev or levav, it typically means mind, because in the ancient Israelite world and much of the ancient world, people really believed that the mind functions were in the heart, not in the head. Okay, and down here, 2 syllables because we have 2 vowels. Laila. Now you notice you don't really hear the yod, right? It's not la, it's Laila, night, Laila. And so that's one example of where the yod is sort of mushing into the vowel that's there. And we'll talk more about that later. Some more lamed words. L can mean to, for, by. Prefixes in lots of different languages are very flexible. So for example, this word, 3 syllables, litova. Final stress, litova. Now you know tov means good. Tova is sort of a more poetic way of saying tov. It's by making it feminine. So tova is good as like a concept, right? As like an abstract noun. Letova, for good. All of this is for good. Hakol ze letova. And this word down here, la'av. La'av means to or for or by the Father. And make sure that you hear that we're not mushing these vowels together. 2 distinct vowels. La, av, la'av. New vowel, chirik. Chirik. Now we had some other dot vowels, right, underneath the letters like tsere, a, and segol, e. Now this is in the same sort of vowel type with those e vowels. They're sort of grouped together. Chirik is an e vowel. So we have he, li, z, v, ye. Make sure you're getting the consonant in there because the vowel comes after the consonant, right? Ye, d. Here's some yod words. Did you hear that? That was a Yiddish pronunciation. Here's some yod words. Yayin. Yayin. Yayin is a very special word because it's not Semitic at all. It's an Indo-European word and it means wine. Almost every language on earth has the same root for the word wine. So yayin is that word in Hebrew and means wine. And here's another word with yod. Ani. Ani. And here the yod is actually part of the vowel as before. Ani. I. Like, Ani Yoshua, I'm Joshua. Okay, here's our vowels so far. A, O, E, E. Silent. Remembering shva is our syllable boundary, ends a syllable. New consonant alert, Samekh. Samekh. It's a circle. And notice that it's really a circle, like it's rounded on the bottom. It is not flat. Samekh is a circle. It makes a sa sound in case that wasn't obvious. So we have si, se, se, s, sa. Samekh. First word, saviv. Saviv, surrounding or around. In Hebrew, a dreidel is called a sivivon. It goes around. Sus. Sus means horse. Slicha. Slicha means forgiveness, or in modern Hebrew, it means sorry. Slicha. Now, in classical Hebrew, we should hear the shva, slicha, slicha, 3 syllables. But typically in standard pronunciation in modern Hebrew, we mush the shva into the next consonant, slicha. New consonant, ayin. Ayin is an eye. It looks like an eye, right? This is like the corner of the eye here. Ayin. Like aleph, ayin is silent in standard and modern pronunciation. Some historical linguistic nerds are going to get on my case about this. I did not invent standard pronunciation. I did not invent modern Israeli Hebrew. It is silent in standard and modern pronunciation, and that's how we're going to learn it. Let's practice ayin with our vowels because it will carry a vowel just like aleph. A, E, A, O, and then of course with a shva, it's not going to do much. It does matter. Joshua, why are there 2 silent letters? It does matter which one we are using because ani means poor or oppressed, and ani means I, as in Ani Yoshua, I am Joshua. Ani with an ayin, poor. Ani with an aleph, I. New consonant, kuf. Kuf. Some people say kof. I say kuf. Kuf, I should have drawn the lines of writing here, actually drops her foot beneath the line of writing. She's the only letter in the alphabet that always drops beneath the line of writing. Kuf. And you might notice that she really looks like a Q in English, right? And that's because those letters are graphically related. So kuf looks like a Q, and in transliteration, I'll typically write kuf as a Q, but we typically learn it as a k sound, just a regular old k sound in standard pronunciation. ka, 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 ki, ke, ke, ko, k. And if you were curious about why I sometimes have the vowels in order and sometimes mix them up, it's to keep you on your toes. Keep that brain interested. All right, here's our first word with kuf. Notice also our beautiful, lovely lamed standing above the line of writing over here. Notice how kuf has her foot beneath the line of writing over here. Kol, kol. This means voice or sound. Now notice that those have different connotations, voice or sound. So in the Bible, when you're reading and you see kol, is it a voice coming from a person, or is it a sound that doesn't have to come from a person? And what might the theological implications of that be? Curious. All right, new consonant. We're busting out some letters today. Now I'm going to use the English R at first, just for the trick. Resh, like R, is round. That's the trick to remember the name of the letter. That's not how the letter sounds. Resh is round, but we roll our R's in standard pronunciation. Ra, resh, resh. So you might have to practice that alongside ch. In modern Hebrew, the R is way in the back of the throat, very similar to the French R, ra, but resh in standard pronunciation, like in Spanish. Ra, 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 ri, re, re, ro, r. Here's some words with resh. Regel. Did you get the initial stress? Regel means foot or leg. Riv. Riv means a conflict. It has a legal connotation, so it can mean a court case. Rov. Rov is a multitude. It's a noun, a multitude. And actually, let's skip and go to the top of this column and look at this very similar word, same consonants, different vowel. Rav means many. So rav is the adjective, rov is the noun. And so you're beginning to see how the Semitic language system works. Consonants hold the core meaning of the sort of group of words that are related to each other, and then the vowels actually determine the part of speech. So the r, v sounds together have to do with abundance, manyness, multiplicity, greatness, largeness, but the o gives us a noun and the a gives us an adjective. So rov is a multitude and rav is many. Okay. Ra'ah, ra'ah. That's evil. We usually think of this as evil as a concept. It is an abstract noun like tova. Tov means good. Tova is goodness, right? Is good as a noun. Ra means evil as an adjective. Ra'ah is evil as a concept. Rak, only. Karov, close, near. Ooh, karov in the Bible can also mean inside, very close. Ra'av is famine. So now you can make a really cool sentence. Ra'av, ra'a, rabah. We have to just make it feminine in that case. A famine is an evil that is big, great. So a famine is a great evil. Now, let's be careful of letters that look alike. Yod is here, high up in the margin. Vav. Resh is round. Round is very hard to roll your R's with that one. Round. And remember, Dalet has a dent, right? A dent. That's why that was so important from the beginning. That's how we're going to tell those letters apart. Another example of why Aleph and Ayin really matter. Ra'ah with an Aleph means he saw. Ra'ah with an Ayin means evil as a noun, right? Very different. Okay, here's the letters we've learned so far today. Yod, Lamed, Samekh, Ayin, Kuf, Resh, and here's our last one, Tav. Tav has a toe. See how she's sticking out her toe over there? Tav has a toe. She's also a very beautiful letter, I think. I don't know what makes some letters beautiful. Let's practice. Ta, t, toe, te, ti, te. And of course, tav looks a lot like hey and chet, but hey has a hole, and tav has a toe, and chet is chet. There's no special mnemonic for that one. You get hole for hey, toe for tav, and chet just is the other one. Sure, that's super helpful. Here's a word you'll know already, but now you can read it in Hebrew. Did you figure it out? 2 syllables, because we have 1 vowel, 2 vowels. O, a. Torah. Torah. Torah means Torah, and it can mean Torah as in the 5 books of Moses, like ha-Torah, the Torah. And Torah can also just mean someone's teaching. Torah can also just mean the Jewish Bible. Like, it doesn't have to be the 5 books of Moses. It's used lots of different ways by Hebrew speakers. Next word. Now, why do you think that tav is red? And if you guessed initial stress, you are correct. Tachat, not tachat. Tachat, under, beneath. Tachat. Now, you might be wondering, is this a segolit noun? Because some segolit nouns that have initial stress don't have a segol in them. And the answer is I don't know. I think it is, but I'm not 100% sure. All right, 3 syllables. Don't be intimidated by the length. O, e, a, 3 vowels, 3 syllables. To, e, va, toeva. Final stress. Toeva. Toeva means abomination. It's a very fun word. Abomination. Very bad thing. All right, let's look at some advanced vowels, because we've pretty much covered our vowel system here. We love our top row of a type vowels. A, kamatz patach, chataf patach, a. Very easy, horizontal lines. We know what's going on there. Then we have our E-class vowels, or I-class vowels in English, or I-type vowels. I should be really specific with that. I-type vowels, they all have dots underneath. E, chirik, e, tzere, e, segol. And then we have this new vowel. This is chataf segol, which is just e. Sort of like chataf patach is a. Wow, the regularity, amazing. Okay, and then we have our U or U type vowels. And we have cholem, O, cholem vav, O, shuruk, U, and one last one to learn here. This is kubutz. Kubutz. It sounds like kibbutz, right? A kibbutz or kibbutz is a collective, literally. They were mostly communist projects, right? And so a collective. And kubutz is a collection of dots, which isn't super helpful when we have lots of other collections of dots to learn. But I like to teach it this way. It's a staircase, and you're falling down the stairs on your butt. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You'll remember it with that, won't you? It's a staircase, and you're falling down the stairs on your butt. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And I find that if you jump a little bit in your chair when you're saying it, ooh, 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 it really helps to remember. Maybe you're sitting at home laughing at me, thinking I'm a very silly teacher, and I am, but it works, and I promise. And if you do it, you will learn it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. And so you'll notice we can really group our vowels into 3 types, a, e, and u, because Way back in Proto-Semitic, there were only 3 vowels, a, I, and u, and most of these vowels actually split out from those to make other vowel sounds. And so even though we have other sounds in those groups, that's the basic scheme for Semitic languages. And if you ever learn Babylonian, which I highly recommend, super fun, way harder to read than Hebrew because it does not have an alphabet. But if you ever learn Babylonian, it has 3 vowel sounds, a, I, and u. Okay, let's practice our new vowels. We have chataf segol, ve, de, he, be, be careful with the dagesh, be, and se. And now we have kubutz, u, vu, nu, tu, lu, ku. Now, as I said before, these vowels can combine with yod, just like our vowels in English combine with y, and the y either changes the vowel slightly or just disappears, and it happens in a very logical way. So, for example, a, y, I, I. Do you hear as you're merging together the a and the y? In the middle, you can hear the vowel sound I. I. And so kamatz yod is going to be I. And that's how that works linguistically. Just the vowel sound plus the beginning of the consonant sound that gets merged into the vowel I. Patach yod, a, y, same thing, I. However, I told you at the beginning, Hebrew has very few pronunciation exceptions when it comes to reading. But this is one of them. We expect it to be I've, but for some reason, Hebrew does not like that cluster of sounds, possibly because you're getting a yv together. And actually, in classical Hebrew, this was a w sound, so it would have been I. Like, how do you do that? So instead, we just get av. The yud just falls out, and we get av. And this is only used for one suffix in Hebrew, but it's used quite frequently. So once you start actually reading in the Bible, it will be a lot easier to remember because you'll see it all the time. Av. For now, you just have to memorize it. Sorry. Okay, chirik yod, I. It doesn't change because it already has that tense y part of the consonant in it. I, right? I. So it's not going to change by adding a yod. I. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I. Tzere, a, again, a. It already has the tensing for the yod built into the vowel. So it's just going to stay a. Again, easy paisy, lemon squeezy. But then we have segol with yod, y. And doesn't have the tensing at the end, so we need to add it a. So that means that sere yod and segol yod are going to sound the same, a and a. You can figure out this one on your own. Try it. Pause if you need to. Oi. Oy vey zmir. That's Yiddish, but oy vey is actually Hebrew. Oy means woe, essentially, and that's how you would write it. And then here's another one that's kind of an exception. We have the u and then the yud, and this is pronounced ui. Even though we don't have an e vowel there, it's pronounced ui. And again, this is just one situation in Hebrew. It's used for one suffix, which we'll see in a minute. Okay, let's practice. Bai, dai, nav. Remember, a little different when we have the vav at the end. Bai, dai, nav. He, say, te, te. And then, what's this? This is an actual word. These were just random syllables. This is an actual word. See if you can sound it out. Goy. It means nation. And in Yiddish today, it means a non-Jew, but in classical Hebrew, it meant nation. Goy. How about this one? Banui. It means built, past participle, built. That building was built. Here's a familiar word, bain, meaning son or child. Banim, you don't know this letter yet, but it's the M sound. Banim means sons or children, including different genders of children. And here, banav, his children or his sons, with our suffix. That's the only case in Hebrew in which you will see that suffix is when it's referring to his, and the object it's referring to is plural, his sons, banav. Okay, how about this word? Bana. Bana means he built. And here we have banui, built. It's built, since he built it. It works. Toda! Thank you so much for joining me today. I know we moved at a breakneck speed. Go back and watch again, practice for 5 minutes a day, and I promise you, you will get it. You're doing so well. And you may say to me, Joshua, you're just some random person on YouTube. How do you know how I'm doing? But you have been showing up for 3 lessons. You've already put at least an hour, probably much more than that, of your life into learning this. And so you're probably doing really well. Another reason why I know you're doing really well is because this is the halfway point. There's 3 more lessons after this, but in reality, you will have covered the entire vowel system and the entire consonant system. So basically all of Hebrew orthography in the next lesson. We're very close. That's how I know you're doing well. So toda, thank you. And I hope that you will join me next time for Summer Hebrew or, whatever season you're in.